So let's say you just started a brand new channel and you don't know what niche you want to be in. Well, let's see which one is the best and easiest for new YouTubers. Now, in order to compare all these fields, we're gonna have to look at 5 aspects.
The first one is flexibility. So when can you record or where can you record? The second one is how much money you're gonna make.
The third one is how hard it is to make the content. Is the content easy to make? Do you take a lot of time making it? And so on. The next one is competition, because obviously you need to know how much competition that specific niche has. And the final one is upkeep of the channel. How hard is it to continue your channel and make it grow? Now, in no particular order, let's start with vlogging. Now, vlogging is a pretty dying niche. In 2016, everyone would have said just vlog your life. That's an easy million views a video, but not anymore. It's 2023, YouTube wants some good clean content. Vlogging doesn't work. However, it's still something that you can succeed in. So in vlogging, flexibility is pretty easy because you're literally recording your life, and so you can record whenever you want. As for money, that's a negative because most vloggers don't make a lot of money until they get pretty big. As for research, it's positive. You don't really have to research anything because it's your life. When it comes to competition, there's a lot of it because a lot of people would just love to record their lives and earn money from it. And finally, upkeep is also a negative because you literally have to vlog every single day of your life, otherwise your viewers are gonna go away. So overall, vlogging gets 2 positives, 3 negatives, not the best one to get into. The next one is entertainment. Now, it might sound confusing, what is entertainment, but basically skit or comedy channels. When it comes to flexibility, that's a huge negative. Don't have very flexible schedules and you have to kind of record in certain spaces. You can't just like record in the open. As for money, the money's pretty good considering you're probably a failed acting student. When it comes to research, there's not really a lot of research. Yeah, you probably have to research like a good idea, how original it is and so on, but not enough research to make you go crazy. As for competition, there's not much competition as well because you actually need some skill to be in this field. However, when it comes to upkeep, that's going to be a negative because you need to be uploading pretty consistently to keep this channel going, and that can burn a lot of people out, especially if they don't have a huge passion for this thing. And so overall, with 3 positives, 2 negatives, this might be something you want to get into if you've recently failed acting school. The next one is kids, toys reviews, and nursery rhyme channels. So kind of like Ryan's Toys Reviews or like Coco Melon. That's the niche we're talking about. Now, when it comes to flexibility, these videos are targeted towards kids and they require a lot of editing, a lot of animation. There is no flexibility about that at all. When it comes to money, the money is good because kids will just rewatch the content because they're kids and they're stupid. And so you just earn like a few $1,000,000 off of one video. When it comes to research, you're not really researching anything. You're just taking something another channel did and then just posting it again with like slightly different animation and maybe a word or 2 changed, but that's it. As for competition, there is a lot of competition because, well, people make nursery rhymes because it's a profitable niche. And when it comes to upkeep, you don't really have to do any upkeep. The more videos you have, the more chances of you getting found by the algorithm, and so you do need to post kind of regularly. Now, the next niche is finance, kind of like just talking about money. That's basically what finance is. When it comes to flexibility, in terms of finance, it's kind of simple because you can really record anywhere and editing's not that tough. You're not like over editing or anything. And so overall, you have a lot of flexibility when it comes to these videos. Same with money. That's another huge positive. Look at Graham Stephan, he's doing pretty good. I don't know if you can do the same, but you can also do pretty good for yourself. When it comes to research though, that's a huge negative because you have to know your stuff. You have to be able to figure this stuff out. You have to know like the stock market, the crypto market, everything before you even start to record. Competition is another negative because a lot of people are actually interested in stocks and crypto, and so there's a lot of people making videos about said topics, which is finance. There's also a lot of channels that have get rich quick schemes. That's like a huge thing on YouTube, and that goes into the finance sector, and that's a lot of competition. As for upkeep, the upkeep's going to be a little bit of a positive, mainly because there's no real reason to need to upload frequently. You usually upload when something big happens, like a stock collapses or something. Otherwise, you're not really uploading that frequently. The next field is political. Not a field I'd recommend you get into because it's very controversial. Now, starting off with flexibility, it's pretty easy to make these videos, mainly because you're just chilling in your room and making these videos and minimally editing them. When it comes to money though, it's pretty decent money for just expressing your opinion on the internet. It's not worth the risk though. You will get doxxed and probably killed by someone on Twitter. As for research, that's going to be a negative. When you're talking about political stuff, you need to know your stuff. You need to know current things going on in the world before you even start recording. Competition, Generally, there's going to be less competition, mainly because it's politics, and a lot of people, even though they do share their opinion on the internet, are skeptical to do so, which makes no sense, but they still do it. As for upkeep, the upkeep's pretty simple because you're literally only talking about events that actually happened. It's a lot like financial, but you're just talking political stuff. But political is slightly better, despite the whole controversial nature of it. 4 positives, 1 negative. Now the next niche is self-improvement. This field is more widespread and there aren't any big YouTubers on it, so there is potential. This can range from mental health or physical health. When it comes to flexibility, it's not that much because if you're talking about physical, you're probably in the gym or at home, and if you're talking about mental health, you're most likely at your house recording. Also, the videos don't have to be over edited, and so flexibility is overall a positive. When it comes to money, you're getting pretty good money for just sharing tips. I'd say it's a huge positive over here. Research, there might be minor research to search up statistics, but other than that, you're pretty good to go. You don't really have to research anything. When it comes to competition though, there's a lot of competition. A lot of smaller creators love sharing tips. And so this is one thing that they share a lot of tips about, and so standing out is going to be hard. Upkeep is the same. Since there's a lot of channels uploading, you have to upload consistently and frequently in order to gather an audience which you can build off of. So overall, 3 positives, 2 negatives, definitely a field you could look into. The next niche is tech. Now tech is one of the hardest niches to break into because you need a lot of knowledge about tech. A crazy amount. When it comes to flexibility, it's almost entirely a negative, but it might just be a 50-50 because if you review tech products, you might need to wait for it to launch. But at the same time, you can basically upload whenever you want with decent gear. When it comes to money, money is the only positive over here. You know why? Because despite you spending hundreds of dollars on tech to review it, you earn so much more back, and once you get bigger, you get sponsorships, and that stuff you were buying for hundreds of dollars is now coming to you free. But this is still a very hard niche to break into. Research is very important. You have to know your stuff. Even if you're an expert, you need to know stuff about, let's say, the new iPhone 15. You need to know stuff before making a video. For competition, there's a lot of it. A lot of people do like to review a lot of things, whether it's not exactly tech related. And tech is one of the biggest sectors in the review genre. And so there's a lot of people who will make tech review videos. Upkeep is also challenging because you can't really upload every time a new product comes out. That could potentially be months away, and so you have to make filler videos in the middle, and that is the challenging part. Overall, tech only has 1 positive, being money, and it's not really even a positive just because breaking into this field is so hard. You need a lot of money and knowledge. The next niche is how to. Now this is one of the bigger niches on YouTube, just how to like open a door or drink water, you know, that niche. Now when it comes to flexibility, it can be iffy because if you need certain materials to do a how-to, you might have to go buy those, and then when recording and when editing, you might have to do things in a certain way, like you have to edit in a certain way just to make the content more appealing. And so that really kills the flexibility, making it a huge negative. When it comes to money, I'm not gonna lie, you're probably earning pretty good money for just spending like 20-30 minutes like making this cool hack. It's pretty good money. When it comes to research, this is a negative. You have to know your stuff and you have to be able to research stuff. You can't be 5-minute crafts, you have to be good, and so you have to research a little bit. As for competition, there's no real big channels. I mean, there's the meme channels who made like how to drink water and how to open a door, but actual channels like how to tie a tie, those are your competition, and there's not a lot of them. As for when it comes to upkeep, honestly, you really only upload when maybe like you get a comment saying, do this next. Otherwise, you don't really have to upload. The next niche, potentially the most controversial niche in this entire thing, commentary. When it comes to flexibility, honestly, you do not need to be like, this is a huge positive. You sit in your room, you record a video, you go minorly edit it, and you're done. That's commentary. The next one is money, and like I mentioned, you sit in your room and decently edit. Yeah, you're earning pretty good money for that. When it comes to research, research is important because when you're doing commentary, you're talking on recent trends. You need to know said trend to talk about it, and so you have to be able to research stuff. That's a negative. Competition is also a negative because who wouldn't love to just sit in their room, record a video, minorly edit it, upload it, and get $1 million? Everyone would. And so there's a lot of competition in this niche. As for when it comes to upkeep, upkeep is pretty simple. While you are uploading every single day, Twitter exists, and so you'll be able to find drama every single day. Overall, 3 positives, 2 negatives, could be something you could look into, but there's a lot of competition. Now the next niche, and arguably the biggest niche on the platform, reaction. Reaction content is the biggest on the platform and one of the hardest to get into because there's just a lot of people in it. So when it comes to flexibility, it's huge green because you're just looking at a video and giving your honest opinion. It's not that hard. Also, there's not much editing required because you just got the video from someone else and put your face cam in it. For money, once again, like I mentioned, you're just staring at a screen, giving your honest opinion. That's like free money right there. As for research, you do have to do research. A lot of people think reaction YouTubers don't do research. That's a lie. They have to research the video, they have to research what's trending, they have to research a good title, all that stuff. And while yes, everyone else has to do that, they have to be a little bit more specific because people are only going to click on their reaction if everything else is good. When it comes to competition, I'm not going to mention it, it's a huge negative. Upkeep is also a huge negative because you have to upload every single day, and most of these people are kind of lazy in the nicest way possible. And so overall, 3 negatives, 2 positives. Action might not be something you want to get into. And finally, probably the one that most kids are here for, gaming. Is gaming the best niche to get into on the platform? No, it's not. When it comes to flexibility, it's hard to record, okay? You have to spend hours and hours recording. You need good equipment. You need good everything. You have to make an entertaining video. That's very important. As for editing, you're gonna have hours worth of content which you need to edit. That can take hours and hours. So the flexibility is a huge negative. When it comes to money, you might be like, oh yeah, that's gonna be a huge positive, right? You're just playing video games and earning money. But no, you don't get as much money on a gaming video as you would imagine. And so you realistically spending 5 or 6 hours recording a video and then earning maybe like $20-$30 from it is not really worth your time. And so only really the top 5% of gaming YouTubers actually earn money that actually makes sense. Research is surprisingly a positive. While you do have to do research for the video you're making and the game you're making and what's trending, there's nothing more than that. It's very simple research. You just kind of search up what's trending about your game, you make a video about it, that's it. It's not a lot of research. Competition is huge. Every single kid and their mom is trying to make gaming videos and get millions of dollars from it. That's millions of little kids trying to do that, and you're competing with them. That's a huge negative. Finally, for upkeep, it's another negative. You have to upload consistently, and if you're recording for 5-6 hours every day and then editing for 5-6 hours every day, that is something that most people who make gaming videos just cannot stay with. They will burn out. It's actually very, very hard to even get to that level. And so overall, gaming is actually the worst niche on this entire thing, with 4 negatives and 1 single positive. So which niche do you think is the best for you? There are some good niches over here with 4 positives and 1 negative, or even 5 positives, which I just didn't review. But there's a lot of niches that you can look for. All these are good, don't get me wrong. Maybe you can make it good in gaming, maybe reaction, but don't take my word for it. I'm just an idiot on the internet. So overall, that's all the niches. You should probably choose which one you're going to start your YouTube channel with. Good luck.